Hello everyone, welcome to another lecture on C++ programming language. We are on lecture 42 on C++, and in this lecture we talk about do-while loop in C++. So when we started, the loop lectures, I discussed and I explained that there are three types of loop in C++. One is, the while loop, then we have, do-while loop, and then we have, the for loop. So now in this lecture, we talk about do-while loop in C++. So we are on lecture 42. And we talk about do-while loop in C++. So the do-while loop is used to perform, repetition in our program. So if we need repetition in our program, we use the same way which we use while loop, we use the do-while loop. But the differences between the while loop and do-while loop is, so the while loop first check the condition. If the condition is true, so then it performs, the repetition. But the do-while loop, it does not check first the condition. Even if the condition is false, at least it execute, the statements or repeat the statements at least one time. So let's see how we can, implement the do-while loop in our programs. So if you remember from previous lecture, if we was, if we plan to use the while loop in program, so we use while, then we had condition, and then we have, the block of while loop. So our code was here, like the code which should be repeated, the statements. So here you can see we use the while loop. But the while loop first, it checks the condition. If this condition is true, so it execute, any statements which is inside the block of while loop. So the while loop first check the condition. But let's see how we can write the do while loop. So the do while loop syntax is first we have, do. First we have do. Then the block of, do while loop is, we can open the block and then we close the block, and then at the end we have our condition, semicolon. And here we have our statements. We have here our statements, and the code which we should repeat, we write that code inside those statements inside our do while block. So if you can see here, first we have the do keyword, then we open the block of our do while loop, and we then close, and then we have at the end we have our condition, if you can see. So here our statements at least executed once, because our program is the execution of our program starts from top to bottom. It goes like this. So first it comes here do, and then it goes inside and execute these statements, whatever statements we have, and then at the end it checks the condition. So let's write an example. So let's write an example using while and do while loop both, so you can see what is the difference. So I write a program. A program which prints the number from 1 to 5. So if you want to use the while loop, so I just write the program. So I don't write the main function or other things. So you can write that one like inside the main function. But I give you an example. Like for example, we have an integer. So I write the program integer I is equal to 1. I write the program which prints from number 1 till number 5. So integer I is equal to 1. Then using while loop, I write while I is less than or equal to 5. And then we say, cout I. And then I use n line and I plus plus. So this is a program, It starts from 1. 1 is less than 5. It checks first the condition because it's while. So now we have 1 here inside the I variable. So 1 is less than 5. Yes, it's less than 5. The condition become true. It prints out the number 1. And then it became, the I value became 2. 2 is less than 5. Yes, 2 is less than 5. Condition became true. It prints the number 2. Then it's become the value of I became 3. 3 is less than the 5. Yes, condition became true. It's print the 3. And then here I become 4. 4 is less than 5. Yes. So 4 is less than 5. Yes. So condition become true. It print out the 4 and this become 5. 5 is less than 5. No. 5 is equal to 5. So the condition become true. So it's print out the 5 here. And then it becomes 6. Whenever I become 6, we check here. 6 is less than 5 or equal to 5. No. The condition become false. So after that, the body of the loop will not be executed and the remaining part of the program will be executed. So it prints out. But let's write the same program in do while loop. So we use the do keyword. So we have do, then we open the statements, and then we close the statement, the block of the do while loop. At the end, we have our condition. So first here we declare our integer I is equal to 1 because we want to start from 1 and print, the number from 1 till 5. So here I see out I, and then I write inline, and then I plus and semicolon, and then at the end we check the condition while I is less than or equal to 5. So it's the same program. We use the same logic using while and do while. So now if you can see here, now I is equal to 1. So the program starts from here, So if the execution of our program is started in C++ from top to bottom. The compiler, or process or execute, or the CPU execute the program from, this line, then goes to this line, this line, this line, and this line. So it goes from top to bottom. So here I is equal to 1. Yes. So now we have do while loop. So inside this, it prints out the number 1. And now I become plus plus. It's become 2 here. Is 2 is at the end we check the while your condition is 2 is less than or equal to 5. Yes, 2 is less than the 5, so the condition become true. So the guess goes here and it's print the 2, and then it's become 3. The I value become 3, and then we check is 3 is less than 5. Yes, so the condition become true, and now we print the 3 here, and then 3 become 4 here because we have increment value. And we check here the condition is 4 is less than or equal to 5. Yes, 4 is less than 5. So the condition become true. Again, is execute the inside, the block of while. So it's print out the number 4. And then 4 become 5. So here we check the 5. Is 5 is less than or equal to 5? Yes, 5 is, equal to 5. So the condition become true. Again, it print out the 5. And now 5 becomes 6 here. And then it checks, 6 is less than or equal to 5. No. So it means the condition become false here. Once the condition become false, so after that, it will not execute inside, body of do while loop. So this is an example of, a program which we write, using do while loop, which prints the number from 1 to 5. But let's take another example so we understand more about, what's the difference between while loop and do while loop. For example, here, if I start the I value from 100, now you can see I is equal to 100. Yeah. So now we check the condition while 100 is less than 5 or equal to 5. No, of course not. 100 is bigger or larger than, than 5. So the condition here became false at first. When the condition became false, so the body of while loop will not be executed. The body of while loop will not be executed. Because I is equal to 100. Is 100 is less than 5 or equal to 5? No. and the condition become false. When the condition become false, so the body of the while loop will not be executed. The remaining part of the program will be executed. So now if we write the same program here, if we start the I value from 100. Now if you can see, I is equal to 100. And now what happens here, because we check the condition at the bottom, so at least it prints out once, the value of I. So here, I is equal to 100, yes. Then it prints here the value of I, see out I. So now the value of I become 100. It's printed out 100, and then I plus plus. Here, I value become 101. And then at the end, we check the condition. Is 101 is less than or equal to 5? Of course not. And the condition becomes false. So if you can see here, if even the condition is false, so the do while loop at least execute once the statements of, the statements which is inside the block of do while loop. So that's we have here 100. But the for while loop, if you can see here, it never execute, the statements which is, inside the while loop because the condition is become false. So the while loop checks first the condition, and then it will, if the condition is true, inside the body of while loop will be executed. Otherwise, it will not be executed. So in this program, using while loop now, it does not print anything because the condition becomes false, and inside the body of while loop will never execute it. But here also, if you can see the same program, but the output is 100. Why? Because in do while loop, we check the condition at the end of the program. So first, it print the value of I, which is 100, then it's become 101, and then it will check the condition at the end. So this was, to the lecture, and we discussed about do while loop and how can we use them, and also what is the difference while loop and do while loop. So I give you an example, so you clearly understand now what is the difference between while loop and do while loop.